Admiral Angeli is going to be talking about the Jedi way, whether that be the Jedi way of making cities, whether that be the Jedi way of thinking regarding the environment and a relationship to each other, whether that be the Jedi way regarding the getting in tune with the flow of energy in the cosmos, and etc., etc. So we're going to be talking about spiritual warfare in a whole new way. We're going to be talking about it in a way that is actually like uplifting, as opposed to pointing out all this awful stuff that the opposition is doing. So we're going to be talking about the layout of cities. We're going to be talking about the relationship that our cities have with the environment and with the world around us. And we're going to talk about how it is that we can create a whole new socioeconomic and geopolitical system that works together with nature, like gears in a machine that allow nature and human civilization to prosper together, as opposed to human civilization prospering at the expense of nature. Now, part of the reason why we're in the mess that we're in is because our cities are so inefficiently laid out. And they're inefficiently laid out because they are not created with a certain plan in mind of being in harmony with the ecosystem. They're just kind of a dog chasing cars when it comes to making these cities. And because it's an inefficient layout, scarcity is created, because there's a whole lot more money exchanging hands. There's a whole lot more instability in the economy. There's a whole lot of inefficiency in you're driving all over the city when you could easily just, if the city's layout was different, everything could be so much easier. And so because there's a whole lot more money exchanging hands, because there's a whole lot of inefficiency, a whole lot less gets done. And in the process, the environment is destroyed, and scarcity results as a result of this environmental destruction and this inefficient layout and less getting done. So when we change the layout of our cities, when we change the layout to be a more efficient layout or a better layout, abundance has no other recourse but to emerge. All right? And in this way, less money ends up exchanging hands, and our economy is more stable. And because the city is more efficiently laid out, more can be done. You see, and it can be done in shorter durations of time, and because of that fact, we don't have large cracks for the people to fall through. And if we create a city, or if we create a socioeconomic layout that is symbiotic with the ecosystem, then abundance is a matter of course. Abundance will follow, because as nature prospers, so too does humanity. And as humanity prospers, so too does nature. So how exactly are we able to do this? How exactly would one accomplish such a thing? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. I actually have a layout for a city that I'm going to show you, where if we look at certain smaller portions of our cities, almost like in a fractal sense, then we can really create some awesome, efficient cities and not have them tax the environment, but in fact be symbiotic with the environment. Not have them dependent on a fragile grid system, but rather have them independent and a part of a not so fragile, in fact extremely stable grid system. Not have them dependent upon some sort of foreign source for energy, but rather have them be energy independent. So this video is going to be next level, you guys. This is how extremely advanced civilizations all over the galaxy prosper and thrive. Okay, this is like the next level of spiritual evolution in combination with technological evolution. And it's like what Einstein said, when our technology surpasses our humanity, we will have a generation of idiots. And that is largely what has happened in society, you guys, is that our technology has surpassed our humanity, and now our technology dominates our lives, as opposed to our humanity using our technology as a tool to move us forward and do the things for us that, are, used to be like you have to go to an encyclopedia to figure stuff out. Now all you have to do is go on the internet. Or you could end up being on the internet all day and being surrounded by these ELFs and totally dumbing yourself down by watching stupid shit. Anyway, with all that said, let's get started on the presentation, shall we? Okay, so to begin, let's start with the idea that everything in nature is based off of something called fractal math, which is basically the notion that the big and the small are based off of the exact same patterns or the exact same mathematical ratios. All right, so if we take that into account when we build our cities, that everything is technically a fractal, that everything is based off of fractal math, and then we build our cities based off of a fractal design or based off of fractal math or sacred ratios or something like that, then we could really begin to get in tune with the universe and with the flow of energy through the cosmos. Now, because everything is interconnected and fractal in nature, if we ignore that fact, then you end up creating like dystopias. You end up creating large disruptions in the ecosystem that degrade it or that destroy it, whether it be on a microbiological level or on a macrobiological level, whether it be destroying the life in the soil, the water, the air, or destroying the life like the trees, the animals, the fungi, etc. Now, if we use this notion of a fractal nature to reality to our advantage, then nature will thrive. Our civilization will thrive. And these things will thrive together and create more and more abundance for one another. So the idea here is that we simply have to figure out a way of fractalizing human civilization in a way that makes everybody independent and self-efficient, while at the same time capable of being interdependent and capable of being symbiotic with human civilization and nature. And the only way we're able to do that is if we change the source of our energy supply. But we'll get to that in just a minute. What's really important to understand is that if we get the basic fundamental building blocks of our society and of our civilization down to a science and down to basic necessities being like a part of the structure of the home or something like that, then we can essentially put our cities together like Legos based on a fractal design and a formula that where the smallest units and the smallest pieces are built, and then the rest of the society is built from there based off of certain ratios, certain lengths of, say, piping and stuff like that, almost like treating certain portions of society like they are Legos or building blocks, like they are like connects or something like that. And once you have the basic fundamental smallest ratio or portion of the fractal made, you can build the rest of the city based off of that ratio or that fractal design and go out from there. Now, another aspect to this idea is, I'll get to that in a second. So check this out. This is how we're going to create self-governing communities the easy way. This little square here, this 230-meter square that is divided in half. And the 10-meter here is the road, or is the walkway, and the 110-meter and 110-meter here is the division between the two plots of land. And so if we understand that this basic fractal design, this basic square, which we'll get into how we can vary this up later, but if we use this basic fundamental square and these two rectangles as a basis for the layout of a city, then we can really start to put our city together in the most efficient way possible that doesn't have a whole bunch of money exchanging hands unnecessarily, that doesn't get things done inefficiently, that doesn't destroy the ecosystem, but rather because the flow of the resources or the flow of energy or whatever in the city is based off of a fractal design, more gets done, and the abundance is a result of that increased productivity. So this is the basic fractal design here. There's going to be a home on each side of this line.